guys. Welcome back to the Legal Lunch Podcast. We're your hosts, Kiba, and
Mary.
we're your personal guides to the fascinating world of law. Today, we're diving into one of my favorite topics, how Hollywood portrays the legal world, from dramatic courtroom scenes to rapid fire legal negotiations. We'll explore what they get right, what they exaggerate, and what's just plain wrong, and compare that to the asaprocky case.
Plus, we'll tackle a listener question in our Ask Counsel segment and decode a key legal term in Law Unlocked. So, if you're a fan of Suits, a fan of Law and Order, or even To Kill a Mockingbird, this episode is for you. Let's get started.
So let's start with some of the most common tropes. One big one is the idea that cases are solved overnight, when in reality, lawsuits and criminal trials can take months or even years. But who
Yeah.
wants to watch a show about an attorney reading documents for several hours? The last minute evidence that saves the day. While it makes for great TV, most courts have strict rules about when evidence can be disclosed. So, pulling out those surprise witnesses in a quick way can easily get you into some trouble with the judge. What do you say, Mari?
That is so true. I mean, we can't just be in court just pulling witnesses out last minute. The amount of trouble we will get into is inexplainable. So let's talk specifics in terms of comparing some of these shows with shows and movies. So we all know Suits. That I think is a fan favorite. But is it realistic? Not so much. So, for starters, lawyers don't typically memorize entire libraries of case law. And I mean, while Harvey Specter's negotiation skills are very impressive, real legal negotiations often involve far less glamour and a lot more paperwork. Yeah. And then there's also Law and Order. I think we all are familiar with Law and Order. Maybe just look at a little clip from Law and Order for the ones who are not too familiar.
Wooding and Susan Zellman were clients.
I'll check.
Pretty sure they're
Yes, they were.
How about Donna Brooks?
Yes, she was as well. What's this about?
They were all murdered.
Oh my God. Well, please tell me what you need and I'll help you.
Did they have a caretaker in common?
And I mean, the show's tagline for Law and Order, ripped from the headlines, is really pretty accurate. However, in Law and Order, the timeline of cases from arrest to trial is way faster than in real life. And don't even get me started on how often they catch the real criminal in under an hour. Like, honestly, sometimes I really wish it was that easy in real life. However, what I would say is that one of the most realistic portrayals I've seen to date was from that movie To Kill a Mockingbird. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with it, but the courtroom scenes in that movie, they really capture the tension, the strategy, the moral dilemmas of a real trial. But even then, it's always important to remember that it is still a dramatization. Yeah?
That's so true, but I agree. It's really realistic.
Yeah.
But I'm sure many of you have followed the ASAP Rocky case. And in that case, we saw the prosecution attempted to prove that Rocky had a real gun in his possession and that he fired it at his longtime friend Raleigh. The defense, on the other hand, argued that it was a prop gun and that the lawsuit was an attempt by Raleigh to extort $30 million from Rocky.
Wow.
The emotions from both prosecution and defense were extremely high in that case. It was just intense, and the back and forth on arguments impressive. But we all know in the end, ASAP Rocky was found not guilty. Mari, what are your thoughts on the decision in this case?
Girl, Kiba, let me tell you, I really was not shocked at the evidence that was put forward by the prosecution in terms of how flawed it was. Because first, they never retrieved the gun, right? Secondly, the officers, they carried out the forensics, they found no casings. Thirdly, the alleged victim, he returned to the scene, found the casings, and submitted it to the police 2 days after. Like, in what world does that evidence seem not flawed? Plus, their main witness, really, he really was not a good witness because his statements were really inconsistent. So, in my opinion, I think the case was extremely flawed, and anything but a not guilty verdict would have honestly been alarming to me. And I know that ASAP was really, really happy with that not guilty verdict. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, so let's look at a short clip of his reaction.
The Los Angeles Superior Court, County of Los Angeles. People of the State of California versus Joaquin Mayers. Case number BA
Literally feel the intensity.
508-142-01.
Yeah,
We,
extremely
the jury in
intense.
above entitled action, find the defendant, Joaquin Mayers, not guilty of
Oh my goodness.
He was happy. He was happy.
Yeah.
I think the next day was Rihanna's birthday, the day after the guilty verdict, if I'm not
For
mistaken. I think her
real?
birthday was the following day. Yeah, yeah. I can
Well,
understand why
that
he was so
was
happy.
an awesome birthday gift. An
Yeah,
awesome
yeah.
birthday gift. Yeah. Ooh, that's amazing.
So, what are your thoughts in terms of like the jury's, not guilty verdict?
Well, Mari, I really have to agree with your assessment. I found it so strange, in particular, that the victim would return to the scene and
Yeah.
find evidence and then submit that evidence to the prosecution. So I
Mhm.
really think the prosecution acted quite hastily in pursuing this charge, having regard to the evidence that was before them. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
agree
I
with what you
agree.
said. Hmm.
Most definitely, most definitely. I guess now what we could do, we'll look into some of the things that Hollywood gets right. All right, we can't just show you all what they get wrong. We also have to show what they get right. So,
True.
I mean, whilst there is a lot of exaggeration, Hollywood really sometimes nails it. Huh? For example, the ethical dilemmas in shows like The Good Wife, which is a really, really, really good show, are pretty spot on. Lawyers often have to navigate murky waters between their duties to clients, the law, and even personal values. And that's something that really comes through in that show, The Good Wife. Another thing that they tend to get right is the emotional toll. Oh my gosh, that emotional toll.
Mm,
Whether it's
yeah.
criminal defense or family law, real life lawyers, they deal with intense pressure and high stakes all the time. And this is very much like the characters we see on the screen, be it on a TV drama, be it on a movie, you always have that element of that emotional toll. That's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Agreed. The intensity is real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
especially in high stake matters. Right?
Correct.
So now it's time for Law Unlocked, where we simplify important legal terms. So let's get into it.
Ready to break down the barriers of the legal world? It's time for Law Unlocked, where we unravel complexities of the law in a way that's easy to understand and impossible to ignore.
Today's topic is attorney-client privilege. So what exactly is attorney-client privilege? This rule seeks to protect confidentiality of communications between a lawyer and their client. It simply means that anything that you discuss with your attorney, it should remain private and cannot be disclosed without your permission. It's one of the most fundamental aspects of the legal profession because it allows clients to be open and transparent without fear of that information being used against them. However, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, if a client tells their attorney about plans to commit a future crime, the lawyer may have a duty to report it. So be careful even when you're speaking to your attorney. Yeah?
Correct. 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 Don't go telling your attorney any plans to commit crime, guys.
Agreed.
Okay. And now we're going to go into our Ask Counsel segment where we answer a question submitted by you. And now it's time for Ask Counsel, where we answer all your questions on any and everything legal. Ask Counsel, Ask Counsel, Ask Counsel, Counsel, Counsel. And today's question in our Ask Counsel segment comes from Hema. And Hema asks, do lawyers really say objection as much as they do on TV? And this is a great question, Hema. So let's just get into a clip about objections.
My family out of this.
Just like you did for the last 5 months going undercover?
Objection. Sustained, Mr. Barber.
I'm trying to ask the
So the short answer is no, Hema, although attorney styles may vary, right? Generally speaking, courtrooms are typically more procedural than what you see in Hollywood. And I mean, while objections are definitely a part of trials, lawyers, for the most part, they don't randomly shout them every 2 minutes, right? Most objections, they are made to ensure that the evidence is presented properly and that legal rules are followed. So all those dramatic objection moments that you see on TV, I mean, while they happen in real life, they really, in the TV shows and in the movies, are designed to add tension, to add drama. But real life lawyers, they usually remain calm, they usually remain respectful when raising objections in court. So thanks so much for the question, Hema. And remember, if you have a legal question, you submit it to us via email at askcounselnow@gmail.com, and we might feature it in a future episode.
So, guys, Hollywood may take liberties with the legal profession, but it also sheds light on the complexities and challenges lawyers face. Whether it's accurate or exaggerated, there's no denying the appeal of a good legal drama.
That is so true. So true. So, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, like, and leave a comment. If you have a topic you want us to cover, simply reach out to us on Instagram at Ask Counsel, or drop a comment or email us at askcounselnow@gmail.com.
So, until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Legal Lounge podcast, where we provide simple insights, no fuss.
Remember, stay curious, stay informed, and enjoy your legal dramas responsibly.